Hello.
Hello.
Move into the frame.
Move into the frame.
Can you hear us? Let us know if you can hear us.
Hello.
Let us know if you can hear us.
Good evening and welcome again.
Somebody's giving us a thumbs up.
That's all right then. Good.
Let me just see if I can see us on our...
On the other screen. That's good.
So we know we are there.
Indeed.
Ah. There we be. Oh look, got all these
Millions and millions of
comments.
Comments, yeah.
Let's do the live one. Very good. Hello all.
Well. There you go. We're emotionally drained now. Well, a good
A
good
good
gig.
turnout we're had by all.
A good turnout we're had by all, and yeah, because if it hadn't worked out, I'd be sweeping the streets and all of that stuff. So
The
very
your
pleased.
streets are clean already, from.
Actually, the streets are very clean, yes, but we keep can't get proper phone signal in Exminster. The internet is dire. And that's the second power cut in 6 weeks as well today. So,
Did you?
Yeah, had a power cut. Only just came back on at 7:30, just in time for this. So.
Oh look,
yes.
we've died on that one.
Ah,
I'm just going to click away from that one. I'll just
Yeah.
reboot that one.
yep.
So we can see ourselves about 30 seconds behind.
Mhm.
Oh, there's George. Okay, we're in time now.
Mhm. Bye, George.
Good. Viv and Mike, are we going to put it on DVD?
Highly.
No.
No. It's not worth it, but.
No one buys it.
Not enough people buy it to justify the production costs now. In fact, down in Vicky's father's attic, I think we have hundreds of unsold DVDs. However, that the options are
purchasable download.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes, no, we're already discussing that and looking into that, and that will probably be the way it goes. You'll be able to download it, for a modest fee, and that's probably the way it will go. I mean, in theory, all of the films could end up, but like that, even the ones that are permanently available. If you want the extra edge of quality or whatever. So, but certainly, I think this one could be a purchasable download. There's no question about that.
Why
So,
not?
yeah.
Why not?
We've got to this stage. And we've worked quite hard to get to this stage. And now the next thing, of course, is how to survive the next few months with still as much uncertainty as anything about what happens. And even if there is a absolute concrete, path back to touring and all the rest of it, it's still going to take a longer period of time again for it to actually come to fruition. You can't just sort of not be touring one day and then be touring the next, so we will have to see how it goes, just like anyone else, and keep our fingers crossed.
Lovely to see Miranda and Core Mick.
Call Mick.
Yeah, Electric Palace, we'd love to get back to there.
Yep.
All that sort of stuff.
Of course, yeah.
I'm just trying to weasel out a question.
Come on.
But it's just nice to read all the positive comments, I must admit.
Yeah.
Again, DVDs. We refer you to what my learned gentleman said earlier, Robert. There's no mileage in DVDs anymore. People don't buy them, and thank goodness you lot are buying CDs of the live album. I mean, that's just astonishing. But generally, everything is streamed, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm afraid. Afraid.
Or as a purchasable download, which I think,
Yeah.
because then you can do what you like. If you want to download it onto a disc, then and pretend that you've got the DVD, then that's what you can do. That's the beauty of it. So I think that's
wine.
Just a little bit more for me, thank you. Yeah, just to test it to make sure that it's all right.
Still wet.
So I think that's a very real possibility with this one.
I know, but now do me honest, 5 people have said if we had enough orders,
Well, I suppose that's the other side.
if we had enough pre-orders, say if we had 500, then it might well be worth it. So I maybe I speak too soon. I speak too soon. I'm reading comments, sorry.
Yeah.
Fish and chips and beer during the performance. Oh, excellent stuff.
Lovely.
What did Miranda get you banned from the holiday in Swindon?
Ooh.
Can't say really.
Can't say no. No.
Can't say.
Nope. Afraid not.
It was out of character. All I can say that. So. Yeah, the reworking of Country Life is very moody, isn't it? Yeah, I like the slower version with the old echo. Yeah, indeed, brilliant show. Thank you. People are still saying thank you. We're not going to drink too much because we do have a busy day tomorrow.
We do. It's another of those long days. Yeah.
Of filming.
Yeah.
And you will now know what an amazing director and producer that Jolly on Holroyd is. You know? That's broadcast. That's BBC Standard, isn't it? Really, that's yeah. Hi, Robbie. Hola, mi amigo. Robbie from
Track Dogs.
Yeah. Well, that would be a thought, wouldn't it? Maybe one day we'll do a show with those guys. If we're still locked down, who knows? Yeah, I like the slower version of Country Life. Does make you think about the words. You're quite right. Yeah, hola, my man. Thank you. Love the version of Country Life. Everyone likes the new version of Country Life.
Yep.
In Plymouth, great production. There was a tear or two being shed by Miranda. Obviously, it was quite emotional.
Yeah,
it was quite emotional. Yeah, you weren't mistaken. You do know you can go back and watch this. It'll be there till tomorrow night, and then we'll see what the demand is for another Q&A and another stream. You know, another stream maybe in 2 weeks' time, something like that. Thank you. Tuned into a wine review. Yes, best night in ages. Dancing by the fire. Oh, bless her. Yeah, there's someone else. Yeah, Mike and Viv. They're still going on about the DVD. All right, then. Okay, we are. If we get enough demand for a DVD, then we could. We'd need to know 500, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Let me explain what the technical problem is. It is the production costs, because there's no way of you can't just do what you can do with a CD, for instance, is you can do a limited run. Of course, burns are almost as good, effectively as good as actual manufactured CDs these days. So lots of the people who do small runs. You know, I mean, I'm about to do 100 burns of the blues.
You can do a small run. Go on a small run.
Yeah, small run. That's right. So I'm about to do just 100 physical copies of that at the end of next week. Okay. With the DVD, there's no way around it. It has to be authored properly. It can only be made one way, and therefore you're incurring a substantial cost.
Before the thing goes, I just have to thank Tom Robinson for sending some people here. James. Tom's a big Twitterer, and he actually. There's Gunther.
Hello, Gunther.
Wie geht's? Meine Freund Gunther from Rinteln. Gunther and Karen. It's good to see you, my man. And we still look back with great affection on our 2 days, our 2 lost days.
Our 2 lost days in Germany. Yeah, great fun. Yeah. I'm still astonished that it was possible to do it. And
it feels like we got just before the snow came down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's good. Also, Gunther, you'd be interested to know where my house is. There's been a power cut in the village, but the lights are on next door. My neighbours are very well organised, and they have solar power and batteries, so they had enough battery power to keep their house lit and their early Christmas tree on.
Just because Gunther's into renewable energy, you want him to come over and rewire the village.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be great,
I could do with one of the turbines he's got outside his house.
Oh. Every home should have one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every home should have one,
The sound is great. That was Naomi. It was great live, but she remixed it and did obviously work on it for the show. Yeah, and I missed a comment there. Viv and Mike, there will be a Songbook 6. Yeah, I've got enough songs for that now. Indeed. Hi Claire, hello everybody. Let me just say, sorry I'm not looking at the camera, I'm reading the things down here.
I'll look at the camera.
Yeah, Sarah says, look, the Farmer's Arms. I remember the Farmer's Arms very well. Yeah, it's near the vets on the just south
Yes,
of
yes,
south of Tottenham.
I know where it is.
Indeed. What else we got? Thanks for helping with our Christmas shopping. Sent tickets to friends and one to the Sultanate of Oman,
wow.
which will be watched tomorrow. Okay.
Brilliant.
Ask them or him or if they want to sponsor a folk group. We've got a lot of people, 400 people.
Gosh. Well.
Good sound on jury-rigged sound system, Pioneer amp and Wharfdales. Does that mean anything to you, Phil? That's from Paul.
Yes.
Well, okay, so that's fair enough.
He's put together a sound system with a pair of Wharfdale speakers, proper speakers, you see, like my system.
Yeah. How old is Cormac? He must have been a baby when you... Cormac's unusual because he's actually nearly 70.
Yeah. Just doesn't worry much.
He just doesn't worry much, and he's sort of got very tight skin. I'm not going to... You never ask a lady his age. I'd say...
Never ask a lady his age.
Well, I'm just... I'm talking...
Yes, you're
generally.
talking... Yes.
And now we've got two blokes chatting and getting drunk in the shed. Yeah, you're quite right. About a slow cousin Jack. Well, it's pretty slow already. You know, maybe I'm not sure I can slow that much.
However, one thing I will say about this show was that that Santiago was a bit on the fast side.
I overdid it. It was.
You-
It wasn't the word we said into. Yeah, it lost its groove, didn't it?
Yeah. Never mind. One out of...
It never suffers from being too slow, but it always suffers from being too quick.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the setting wasn't in there. We I don't know why it wasn't in there. We just did.
No, because it wasn't because we walked in front of the front cameras.
Yeah.
And so on. So yeah, it just wasn't not possible. Basically, you know, you can't have everything, my dears. Maybe we should do another if the response is this good. Then
we are good. Look, there's more people after DVDs, so I think we're going to have to.
Well, we're going to have to look
put
at
it
it
out
again
there,
and
aren't we?
see. I mean, things may have changed in terms of, but I still think it should be up as a download because so many people do download these days, you know, and so maybe we need to look at a whole production chain for it. In fact. But I think the plan is to show it again, though. Obviously, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we'll show
definitely
it again.
show it
We'll
again.
show it again and see
So
what the demand is.
once you lot have told all the stragglers what they've missed, you see, then
That's what we need you to do, is
Yeah.
to tell everybody what they've missed.
yes,
And then we'll probably a fortnight's time we'll do something similar. Yeah, we'll have a chat before and after.
yeah.
And even if it's only 300 or 400, it's still going to be worth it. DVDs, yeah, people want DVDs. They all want DVDs.
Someone says they're obsolete.
Yeah, he's an Australian living in Bristol.
Why aren't Cormac linked into here tonight? The short answer to that is I don't even know where Cormac is at the moment. So whether he's in Ireland or whether he's back up north.
Yeah, Bob, I don't know enough about how to use YouTube to share this stream with them. That's worth thinking about for
Yeah, we
next
should
time.
look into it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, or it has to be something sort of a bit flaky like Zoom or something like that, which is one way of doing it, I suppose.
Yeah. As Cormac's there.
Yeah.
Cormac, but let me just before he goes by, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure how he could have shared the stream to chat. We need to investigate that.
Yep. No, but look into it. Yeah, absolutely.
Don't Be a Stranger, Jill, was written at the end of my tour with Martin Joseph and Tom Robinson. I wanted to write a song about the end of that tour where we became very good friends. And
This is the end, my friend.
Anyway, and I wrote that and played it to them unannounced at Bridport on the last night. So yeah, Patreon. Someone's asking about Patreon. Don't know enough about it, I'm afraid. It looks like we don't need to because people are being so generous. This is the first paid for view we've done.
Yeah, it is. I'm not going to go too far into it, but several friends of mine have done the Patreon thing, and it's actually been counterproductive in actual practice. Okay, I'm not going to go name names or anything like that, but specifically some friends of mine went down that road and it's actually been counterproductive. And I think, I mean, in a sense, we're lucky. We've built up this huge mailing list over the years, so we are able to directly communicate with a fairly large number of people, you see. And but Steve's right, this is the first time we've put a paywall up for something, but then if you knew how much it cost, then you would understand why. But we still kind of are pretty much, with all the other things that we're doing, sticking to the contributions sort of thing. And I mean, I can't speak for my colleague here, but I certainly am going to stick to that in the for the foreseeable future anyway, with all the other things that I do, you know.
Is Cormac a Galway man? No, he's not. I think he's Waterford, isn't he? Yeah, he's wrong coast. He'll be able to answer that.
Mm-hmm.
So what else are we getting? Oh, look, here we go. Some of the shots of Steve during the Next Best Western, he didn't have his harmonica on. Here we got the continuity people have noticed.
The continuity police.
That must have been from the afternoon when I didn't have my harmonica.
Yeah.
That Jolyon was doing some shots,
Yep.
just from different angles.
Yes, sir. I couldn't help but noticing Steve's shoelace was untied
Yes.
during the beginning of Galway Farmer.
And yes, at the end, it was
And
miraculously
miraculously
tied.
tied up.
At no point in time did I see
See
it
anybody?
bend down.
Surely there has been a mistake.
All right, Robert, well spotted.
Yeah,
well
very good.
spotted.
Very good. Yeah.
Jolyon's going to go, oh, shit. You wouldn't have thought of that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the... Oh, someone else spotted the Quitch Change harmonica. Oh, here we go. Jolyon has been busted. Yeah, it's all fake. We were miming all the way through.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
Sharon can't see the video. They can only hear the chat. Well,
Oh, sorry, Sharon.
Sharon, what you want to do is just refresh your page. Just if it's Safari, just go to the spinning wheel, because it will. That sometimes happen if the streaming is show. Continuity, please. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plymouth. Who cares? Yeah, some nice things coming in. Thank you very much. I'm just going to have a sip. Someone liked my hair.
Someone liked your hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bloody wife. She's going to cut it. Is that someone outside?
No, it was my
Your chair.
chair going, my squeaky chair.
Don't Be a Stranger was lovely. Yeah, it went very well. That's someone else would have I need a shave. Yes, thank you very much. The dog that works. There's not many questions. We're getting sort of like lovely things.
Go on. What kind of strings do you use?
No.
Do you believe in petting on the first date?
Oh dear.
Is there a special name for the drum Cormac was sitting on? Recycled Amazon box. That was he was sitting on a
cajon.
A cajon. That was indeed. My steak was great. I'm really thank you, Sally. I really know how to cook sirloin now. Very hot, crusted in pepper and salt, and leave it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Leonard Cohen's song is about? I think it's an abstract Cold War song about a man who is a mole or a sleeper, waiting for the signal for him to come out and do what it is he has to do, whether it's sabotage or whether it's spying on information. That's what I think. What else have we got? My favourite cheese. Blue Vinny, if you can get it. Dorset Blue Vinny. Although Stilton is occasionally passed off as Blue Vinny. The tuning on the train. Where's that's gone? GDAD. That's what you do on everything. Fifth, fourth. G, the bottom one, D, A, and then D. GDAD.
Yep. And guitar with drop D. So the bottom E's down to D. That's all.
Let's give some credit for everybody. The lighting was Marcus. Marcus is actually resident at the Northcott, but he went way above and beyond. As you know, Marcus has been lighting us for a long, long time. Josh was doing monitors. You might have noticed me fiddling with my ears. I had these in-ear monitors, and I wasn't always brushing back my hair. and Naomi was doing the sound, obviously. Jamie was doing all the backstage and all the tech stuff on stage, and it was quite emotional for those guys to get together again. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
because it's the first gig of any note that they've done since lockdown. You know. Bloopers. Oh yeah, don't worry. There will be a bloopers at some point. Yeah, yeah. I think there always has to be a bloopers. A bloopers.
Sally, how many of you involved to put the show on recorded? I don't know if you mean the production on the night or actually getting it. Jolyon edited it. I went down and helped him just put the stitch the comments together, and then it's just a question of uploading it. So that's the easy bit really. The hard bit was capturing it on the night. There are 2 more verses of First We Take Manhattan. I know, John. The version I learnt is the Jenny Sings Lenny, which has been edited down, hasn't it? What about the Stone session, Steve? I don't know what that means.
I think he means the Mick Jagger session that you did.
Oh yeah, that was great.
You played on
Goddess in the
Mick,
Doorway.
one of Mick's solo albums.
Yeah, I was there for 2 days. Yeah, yes indeed. And he was there, and I didn't. And he actually played this guitar.
That guitar.
This is the guitar what Mick Jagger played on
Birdseye.
Goddess in the Doorway, and he tuned it to a G and just played it all the way through like that. He's a very good acoustic guitar player, believe it or not. So Mick Jagger he has touched that instrument. What did Claire feed you on the night? Event catering is news. Yes, it is. She fed us vegetarian and meat chili. And she's doing the catering tomorrow, believe it or not.
Oh, is she?
She's doing the catering tomorrow for the shoot, and
Right.
as
okay.
supplied by Darts Farm
Lovely.
and
Very nice.
Exeter Brewery. So.
Yeah.
RPM, project imagine. Oh. Okay, there's some things that I need to say hello to John Anderson, who introduced me to you when I was 15. It's now my 25th birthday, and he's given me tickets. Hi, John, and thank you for introducing us to Elliot. Oh, yes, I'm scrolling back now. The Michael Wood show, I'm hoping to get filmed next year. I'm hoping to get the Songs of Protest show, looking for a location and a place to do it. So, yeah, so watch this space. Well, yeah, the Stones session. I know what you mean. Sorry, Blind Hen. Yeah, I am going to do a Stones and a Beatles night sometime before Christmas. How many instruments are involved in a performance like tonight? Well, I've got 4. I've got a guitar, cello, mandolin, tenor, guitar, and quattro. You've got
Two guitars, a mandolin, and a fiddle. But at some juncture, I may swap over to either the tenor guitar or the mandocello. Depends what we're doing.
Yeah. So yeah, 2 guitars, mandolin, and sometimes you've got the aviator. You've got the little one. You've got your little guitar, have you not?
Yes. Although that's out on loan. Actually, something rather nice has happened with the little guitar, the Viator, Paul Brett Viator, JHS, who distribute them, who have kindly sponsored me on odd occasions, are giving me 2 at cost price to pass on to a lovely young man who is in his gap year is going out to teach in schools in Kenya, and because he's a fine guitarist, he's called Morgan Bain, and he will be teaching people to play guitar in the evening. So if he takes 2 of these lovely little Viator guitars out, one for him to play and one for his people to play, which is a rather nice idea. So the next online show that I do, the solo show, 50% of whatever comes through at the door will be being put to his fund for going. So it's what used to be called voluntary service overseas when we were all young. It's called something else now. So.
Nick, there's not normally that many cables, but I normally, my monitors are usually wireless, but we were counting the pennies that night, so my in-ear monitors actually had a lead. So if you notice, occasionally I'm stepping over my guitar lead and my monitor's lead, which is a bit bit awkward occasionally.
Yes, it wasn't worth hiring in the radio gear for just one gig on a tour. They would be cordless, but they're expensive items to hire, and of course we had to watch the budget on this.
Actually, like cordless everything, that would be quite nice. I missed an audience. Did we see the audience and you feel the atmosphere? Yeah, there was a good atmosphere, to be honest.
Well, actually, they were great. They
were great.
Yeah, it's almost like they'd rehearsed together.
Yeah, but what you couldn't do is the usual rabble rousing. It's no good me saying everybody sing when there's only 120 people. But what I liked about looking at the show, it looked like you were looking out at quite a big arena.
Yes, it did.
It didn't look like
It's a rate seating theatre with about 500 actual seats, but it's looking down to quite an extensive floor space, which is another good reason for doing it. Plus the fact that since Marcus is now the technical director there, and 2/3 of the lights that we needed are already in place, you see, so that was another advantage. And we didn't hire in the usual big rig, we just used the house rig and plugged our desks into it and so on. And it worked very well.
There was tears in eyes. Martin, you're quite right. Tears in eyes were there. The next time we are shooting The Breeze is in going to be a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yep.
What that is me and Phil talking about a certain period of our career. We did the pre-show of hands about 2 weeks ago, and we're going to do the pub years,
Yep.
87 to 94, and play songs from that period of time, and tell anecdotes that you probably heard before. Looked like an old grey whistle test. Yeah, well, it did actually, Simon.
Yeah, yes, you're
Not
right.
that we'll ever find out. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, there was a lot of friends in the audience. Steve Sheldon was quite right. Steve and Nick and everybody down there, and Jenny, I believe, was there. So yeah. So it was lovely to play in front of a real audience. Obviously, slightly different because we were filming. In some ways, it was more like a recording session because we had to pause and say, "Camera's rolling. Okay, let's go." It wasn't like a continuous performance. There was stopping and starting, but I think Joe's done an amazing job of editing it, so it looks look like it flows really, really well. There was quite a lot of chat that he had to edit out, but Penny said, "Nice feel to the concert. Didn't look as I had feared." Now I wondered what you'd feared.
What were you afraid of, Penny?
Hello everyone. It's a virus.
Oh, Sharon says her son's been making mojitos.
Ah,
Oh yeah, I love mojitos. One of my favourites. I feared it looked a bit. Yeah, I know what you mean. It could have looked a bit staged. But you're right. It could have looked a bit static. But we just tried to do a gig.
yep, indeed.
Planning to arrange a gig for you all in southeast Wales next March. So whatever you can do.
Whatever you can do. If
All
it's
offers considered.
All offers considered, yes.
Steve's got Friday night at the Theatre 7. Saturday night is still available. I've no idea what's in the diary, to be honest, Tim. The problem we have is our gigs are predicated on certain numbers of people because we don't, as you know, charge fees. So we haven't yet heard back from venues as to how many people they can get in and to what level of production we can afford or whatever. So everything is sort of up in the air at the moment. I suppose we're all waiting to be jabbed, isn't it?
Yeah, as it is indeed, yes. Yep, correct.
Can Vicky subtly coordinate a lobbying to get you on Jules Holland? No. Tried everything. And the more you bother these people, the more they dig their heels in. Seth has never done it either. So, no, it's just one of those things. It's not his choice, it's the producer's choice.
But I'll go further than that. You would do us a favour by not lobbying.
Yeah, they just get fed up with it.
Yeah.
They get fed up with it and then they dig their heels in.
Yep.
I think we are, I don't know. No one, how can we, I don't think we're quite left field enough. You know, people get to feel cool if there's something that's slightly more difficult and less obvious. Maybe we're too obvious, you know. So, you know, yeah, Mark is a pan. Mark's a good mate. Yeah. So what else have we got? It was the most live-like concert we've seen on the line. Thank you very much, Nigel. Yeah, Diane, you were there, and yeah, we tried to make it pretty seamless, but we can sign CDs. who knows when? Who knows when? Are you planning to perform at Shrewsbury? It's already booked. Shrewsbury is already booked.
Most
80% of it.
Yeah, most of the festivals have certainly been shunted up a year because if you recall, we had a full festival season this last summer, which of course fell by the wayside. So the majority of them, not all, but the majority have just been shunted up. So, we just need the prevailing conditions to change. It's as simple as that. So,
yeah, imagine if Tom Robinson did Jules Holland. Now that would be great. He'd be good at that. He's got the cred. And, and he's eclectic enough to do something like that. Guilty pleasures. I've got into red wine, I'm afraid. Yes, I was a Sauvignon Blanc drinker almost exclusively, and now I've discovered red wine and homemade bread. Oh, and my other guilty pleasure is Sneaky Pete on Amazon. You've not seen it, have you? It's like a new Breaking Bad. I love it. Sneaky Pete is great. Sneaky Pete.
I'll look it up. I might even look it up tonight. Yeah.
Have you got Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I've got Amazon Prime. Yes.
Cambridge isn't in the book, Ken. Although, who knows? They might be rebooking. Some festivals rebooked from scratch. I think, like Beautiful Days. Others have just rolled us over. So, yeah. I think Forest Folk has done that. Simmons has done that.
Yep.
Are you happy with streaming returns? What ones are those, Paul? Spotify.
Have we actually seen any?
You might get, for 400,000, you might get. I think it's 0.4 of a pence. It's and why aren't the Simmons brothers playing for England, Phil?
The Simmons brothers.
Yeah, the Simmons brothers. Yeah, Simmons brothers should be playing for fly half and number 8.
I'm sorry, I don't understand a word you're saying.
Eddie Jones has got a thing against Exeter Chiefs, I'm afraid. Again, Eddie Jones is the Jules Holland of rugby selectors. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to watch Exeter Bath in a minute. I don't know how we got on. I can probably guess, but yeah. Slady scored today, did he? Yeah. Sorry, Phil. We're talking rugby.
That's quite right. You may talk everything you like. Yeah.
Yeah. Santiago Cordero was playing for Argentina. Well, you've met him. Have you met Santiago? I can't remember now.
I'm just very disappointed because I've just watched the last episode of The Expanse, and I'm quite disappointed that which is also on Amazon Prime. And so there you go. And none of you know what I'm talking about.
No.
Nope.
No, John. This is interesting. I said our tongue is now seldom spoken. That was Di down in St Ives told me to say that. So Dee Brotherton said, because she's a Cornish speaker, she said, can you not say our tongue is no longer? Can you say seldom? So just for her, I changed that. And I'm glad you noticed that. You're the first person to have noticed that. Great. Oh, there's a new series of Expanse soon, Phil. Expanse.
Yes.
Oh, is that the science fiction one?
It's a sci-fi, but it's a
about
somewhat superior
the
one.
Outlanders and the miners and all
That's
that.
the one. Yes.
Because it was being sacked and somebody took it over.
That's right. Yep.
Is it good? Did it get good?
I've just watched the last episode finally of series 2, and it's maintaining itself. These things have a tendency to lose their way because, of course, they're I don't know. I don't want to start a Walking Dead debate or a Lost debate, but both of those were brilliant until about the 4th series, and then of course because they don't know how it's going to end, and new writers come in, they all lose their way, which didn't happen, of course, with Breaking Bad, because the guy had the story completely from start to finish, and it basically just maintained its.
What's amazing about that is going back to the first episodes and seeing all the strands in place for the next 50 or 60.
It's such a clever piece of writing.
Yeah, absolutely. What was I going to say? Looking forward to the new June as well.
Yes.
Because now the special effects can actually capture the
rather than
the
a bucket of sand with a sock.
Yeah. Hey, it's a worm. It's a worm.
That's a gigantic 500-foot worm.
And Sting in his underpants.
Stinging his underpants. It was a brave try, but I mean, you know, and
Martin, we'll do gigs anywhere. We've done so many churches. It's just about it's just about what structure is allowed, how many people are in. So that's what we're waiting to know, really. And the other imponderable is how many of our audience will be dying to get out again and to see live music. A percentage won't. Let's face it.
I'm so glad you said that. I was wondering what you were about to say. Sorry.
Dying to come and see us.
It was a great moment after the Max Headroom series, which some of you may or may not remember. You probably don't, but then Max Headroom basically becomes the first virtual show host, and he was interviewing Vidal Sassoon, and he said something like that. So, Vid, what do you think about dying? And so Vidal Sassoon actually takes it seriously and starts talking about
your hair.
No, Vid, no, dyeing your hair.
Ian says the pandemic. I've got 2 songs out of the pandemic, but to be honest, I've really enjoyed all of this stuff. I've really enjoyed getting my head around the technology side and the making the film side. That's been good fun, and I think we have this structure more or less as good as it can be at the moment. The idea of using YouTube with and the link, and then I think and the donation ones and the pay per view. Still not sure what to do about the midwinter solstice sing around.
Well done.
Whether it should
Just
be
getting better at it.
Whether it should be a donation or pay per view. I don't know really. Because pay per view will be a couple of thousand, but if it's free, it'll be a lot more. But I don't know. Yeah. Bob says in 2017, Phil, you said you would do Banbury again, but it hasn't happened.
On the 2017, was that 17, 18? No, I've done the folk club since then. That was only 2 years ago.
Cropbuddy isn't far.
Yeah.
Cropbudy's probably a year after next, I imagine, the way it goes, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Cropbuddy, are very, very careful. They want to book new people a lot of the time, and of course it's a single stage, large scale festival. So it comes round, but not for a few years.
Bobby wants to know the worst job you ever had. Well, Jane Mansfield, she was a beautiful woman.
Beautiful woman,
a large job to get.
Yeah.
And the lob.
Yeah, careful. Right. Well, I know what your worst job was, of course.
Which was?
Working on the motorway.
That was pretty grim. Yeah, and also the building, the officers' block at the Marine camp. I and this other guy, they gave us a big pneumatic drill, and we had to drill out that much concrete in a stairwell with no masks and no ear protectors, and that was, after a while, it would make you feel physically sick.
Yep.
And also unloading the brick lorry. You said, go and help unload the brick lorry. And in those days, they'd literally get 3 together and you throw them and they would separate in midair and you'd get 3 and put them down. There was none of this winching. It's literally like that, and you have to get it like that. And occasionally you get covered in bricks.
Yeah.
And you worked in a metal box factory.
I worked, when I moved to Brighton and started playing with Paul Downs, of course, gigs were few and far between and the rent had to be paid. So I got a job at the metal box company in the spray head division in Port Slade. And my job was, they use injection moulding to make the spray heads. So like the old Airfix kits, all the spray heads come off on a lattice, but of course the lattice itself is valuable plastic. So you take all the spray heads off, or they get cut off by machine, and you're left with the lattice, just like an Airfix kit. So you have to collect up all the lattices from hundreds of machines, take them back to be reground into granular plastic again in order to be recycled. That was grim.
Robert says, make it pay per view and donate some to charity. Well, there's going to be 8 musicians, 4 crew, and catering. So there's going to be 12 people to pay before there's even anything left.
Precisely.
So the charity might be the musicians involved.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see. How many of us watched tonight? I don't know, a couple of thousand, I suppose. I mean, you have to remember that the tickets are a lot of them are 2 or 3 people in a room. I don't know. We'll get the figures soon, I suppose.
Yeah.
And the management. I wonder what Vicky meant by that. And the management. Do you think that's the end of a quote or the beginning of a quote?
I don't know.
Oh, and the management. Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. She meant that's part of the charity.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
I understand
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yes.
So we are the tip of a cottage industry.
Yep.
On the road, we'll be
Yep.
me and Phil, 2 musicians, 5 crew, 3 people back at the office.
Yep.
That's all people depending on a gig,
Yep.
and then we've got the PA company,
Yes.
and then we have got the ancillaries like the oddies and the people that make the instruments. So there's an awful lot of people who need to be provided for from gigs. This is what people don't realise when they talk about viability. You know.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. What else have we got? What else we got? I'd love you to come to the Brook. Yeah, the Brook would be great. Would be great with Cormac. Nice rock and rolly gig. We need 400 or 500 people in there, though, don't we?
As you were both high flyers, it's a difficult decision to follow a career in music. Is that a joke?
Yeah.
George. I was, listen, I'll tell you a little story. So I went to Timoth Grammar School. I already knew that I was going to be a musician, and basically it was a process by which you could hide in schools then. They just lost track of you. So I wasn't doing anything at school, and so it was time to leave before it was found out. So in those days, of course, and I never tire of saying this, you could open the Exeter newspaper on a Friday and there'd be 5 pages of jobs. So it was literally a case of throwing darts at the page to find some job to do, and I ended up as a computer tech at Exeter University running the mainframe computer, which was actually quite good fun. And you know, when I walked out of there to head for Brighton to start playing gigs with Paul on a serious basis, I walked out of that place, some of you have heard me say this before, saying, thank God for that, I'll never have to have anything to do with computers again. Meh.
Very wrong.
Very wrong, yes, very, very wrong.
Yeah, and as Stephen says, that's before we pay the VAT, the corporation tax, all those other things. Indeed.
Yeah, but
still.
George, I wouldn't use the term high flyer.
High fryer.
High flyer, yeah, indeed.
My dad said, how did you meet Cormac? I tell you, I met Cormac playing with Seth. I think Cormac did maybe 10 years with Seth.
A long time, yeah.
And that original lineup, I think, might have even a trio without Ben. I saw just Sean and Seth and Cormac.
Could have been, yeah.
And we had been talking for about 5 years about doing something together before we did the tour 2 years ago. Yeah. But he was always very, very committed. And obviously Seth was touring. I think possibly the Robert Plant tour changed Seth's lineup. And also he was using different types of percussion. So all of a sudden there came a little window of opportunity which we crammed him into. And he seems to be enjoying it.
You do.
Yeah, but somebody asked earlier when we're going to get him a proper kit. No thanks. No.
That's missing the point.
It's organic and it breathes. And we can play acoustically in this room and it still sounds like show of hands, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there he is. There's Cormac. He'd been threatening for years. Possibly for 5 years. Because Cormac played on Wake the Union and that's 5 years ago. And even before that, we were talking about doing something together. But it's like a match made in heaven, he and Miranda. It really is. She just looks at him and grins, you know, with a smile on her face. But that's his haircut all over, isn't it? Yeah, it's quite right, John. Never, never give Cormac a real kit. Everything becomes... Well, people compare you to other things that have got kits. And it's not rock and roll, you know. It's not what we do. It's I think it rocks more without a real kit than it does with a kit. To be honest, what we do.
Yeah, Simon. Of course, that's how I knew of Cormac through Ushkada, which was the band he was originally a founder member of.
And Richard Barnes was always a huge supporter of those.
Yes, indeed.
And Richard and Anna were always telling me about Cormac, and I know what you mean, Cora. It depends on the player, but what we do works. It really does. I think. I mean, it would mean a lot. I mean, we could do like you going to electric and Miranda going to electric bass. We could do a set like that, but it wouldn't be the same. The Bowron speaks with an ancient language. That's very well expressed, actually, John, and it's exactly what Cormac would say. And his mission is to make it work in lots and lots of other genres, and I'd say he's jolly well succeeded.
Indeed.
How did Miranda came to join you? Well, she was hitching, and we picked her up about 15 years ago, and no, she was playing with you. I believe.
She came in to play in my electric band, and firstly, it was because Nick Quamby, who was a very fine acoustic guitarist, wanted to play some guitar, and he was the bass player. By the way, it's the 4th anniversary of Nick's death today. And or was it yesterday? No, I think it's today. Nick wanted to play some acoustic, so I said, okay, so who's going to play bass then? So we knew of Miranda. So anyway, in came Miranda, and of course then we invented this thing called bass share, where they apportioned it all out between us, and then of course we had the extra dimension with the lighter stuff that we were doing with Miranda playing double bass as well, and that's how it happened basically. And then what happened was we put together an extended lineup with another extremely good drummer stroke percussionist from our neck of the woods, Rom Dobbs, who is now playing with the FOS Brothers again, who are a great band, by the way. Really, really good if you get a chance to see the FOS Brothers. Lovely chaps. And so we had this great lineup. Matt Clifford was playing keyboards with us, our good friend Matt Clifford, who's the Rolling Stones connection. And Pete Zorn, bless him, also no longer with us, was playing bass and a bit of sax and flute. And Rom on percussion, and then of course Pete's allegiances always were firstly to Richard Thompson, and so we had only done 2 gigs of this run of gigs when suddenly Richard called and said, Pete, can you go over to Los Angeles? We've got 4 big gigs. So of course Pete obviously had to abandon ship and run. Yes. So
quick, got missing out lots of questions.
I'm missing out lots of questions. Yeah. So anyway, Miranda came in. She knew our set. We rehearsed for about 2 hours. She already knew all our songs. She'd done her homework, and the rest is just histrionics.
And she'd never left.
She never left.
Does Cormac sing?
Don't know.
Don't know. No, he's too shy. He's too shy.
He might have to.
Yeah, he does. He's he won't grow his hair. No, he still wants to look like a reject from a boy band. But that's what happened. You reach a certain age, you go through this crisis. Are you still young? And he's going through that awkward time. And as comment, have you ever played with Derry Farrell? Has he ever?
Yes.
You should go onto the Shrewsbury Festival website and to see that session he did with that amazing fiddler. Cormac will tell me in a minute. Unbelievable fiddle player, the Scottish guy. What's he called, Corey? You'll tell me.
There's quite a few of them.
No, he was over there, just literally playing in the sessions at Costa. Okay. And the 3 of them together, it was just sensational. Cormac will tell me any minute. Ross Cooper.
Yeah, Ross Cooper is really good.
Shit.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. What I loved about what they do is that everybody is hitting the beats exactly on metronomically on time, and it's just no bottom end, no sort of like bass, no fancy guitar chords, just relentless tunes. I love it. I absolutely love it. It was great. Yes, sound quality. Yes, well, thank you for that. Yeah, Cormac plays with the Ha with Adam. Yes, indeed, he does indeed.
Any plans for Faith, Folk and Anarchy?
Love to do it again. We had it all lined up, but I'm afraid Mr. Joseph pulled out 2 years ago. We were going to do a whole festival season. It was all in the planning, but Martin was releasing an album and wanted to prioritise that, which is understandable. So he didn't want to do the festivals. So it would have been nice. Is Cormac related to Ronan Keaton? Obviously he is. And Brian O'Driscoll. If you look at them together, they were all raised in the same family and different fathers, same mother. And Ronan obviously went on to boy band status, and Brian O'Driscoll played rugby. But yeah, they're all half brothers. That's true. Well, Yeah, Firebrand. That's where. Yeah, Firebrand. That's right. Something Ken's talking about.
Yeah.
Ross Cooper from the Peat Bogs. The same.
Mm.
Yeah. I'll tell you who was amazing. I saw it this year as well. Oh, what's the band from Aberdeen? They only play Elephant Sessions.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez, were they good. Amazing drummer and bass player. Mandolin and, was it mandolin and fiddle?
Mm.
I think so. Mandolin, fiddle and guitar. Yeah, fantastic. Very, very good. This is going nicely. Galway Farmer and the Tate Center. Yeah, that's right. Martin sent me a picture of that Snesty, if that is indeed your name.
Mm-hmm.
Green Belt. Me and Martin and Tom playing together. How about a Four Seasons album? Seasonal numbers? Yeah, we could do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up knowing Miranda, and Lucy says her parents and mine in the same folk club. They are amazing, cool. I saw them at Towersey and just wandered in. It was like, oh my word. Talk about tight. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's not related to Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer's from Newcastle. And Wickham is, if there's one festival organiser that will make something happen, it's Pete Chegwin. Talking about Wickham.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Will we consider doing some new romantic covers?
Well, your band, your electric band, originally sort of was on the tail end of the new romantic thing, weren't you? You cultivated that look for a short period of time.
Yes, I wore makeup and I had purple hair.
Yes.
And I had a green velvet sort of thing. How are you doing for the while? You.
I'm not going to have any more now.
I think we're going to give it another 5 minutes, folks, because Phil's got to get back. He's got guests, and I've got to go over. And Claire hasn't come back from work yet.
Oh, really?
She said I may drop by to see some friends in their garden, socially distant, and she's not here.
Well.
She's not here.
So you've had to teach those boys how to make chips.
Well, do you think this is the night she ran off?
I don't know,
Really
maybe.
awful. I was there the night Claire
And was
ran
never
off.
heard of again.
Yeah, it's awful. They were doing this chat.
And she went with the raggle-taggle gypsies, oh.
Yeah. And we do have a long day tomorrow. For those of you who haven't picked up, we are filming the midwinter solstice sessions with seasonal songs and carols. It's not going to be too carol-y. It's only going to be a couple. But it will be, it's going to be a nice thing with Jeff Lakeman and a surprise. And it's going to be good. It's going to be very, very good. Looking forward to lunch again alongside Phil at L'Estuaire, the Strand. Bob. Yeah. Question is, will Steve and Phil cut their hair to match the rest of the band?
Frankly, no.
Tis that does indeed.
Yes.
No, I don't think so, really. Oh, it's just like everybody else, you know. It's just like if you cut, we'll pay.
No. No.
Yeah. No, we're not good. No, we're not good. I'm not very happy about this, to be honest. I'm not very happy about.
But you let it happen.
I know. I just was outvoted. Okay, so give us a few more questions, folks, and then we're going to wander off.
Into the night, in fact. It's very frosty and very cold here. This could be the first sort of icy night.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is pretty cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're pretty running out of...
Almost cut my hair.
Almost cut my hair. Happened just the other day. Thought it was getting kind of long. Could have said it in my way, but I didn't, and I don't know why. I don't know what that means, Simon. Is Cormac related to the Irish TV personality whose show you were once on? Were we on an Irish TV personality show?
Did you do the thingamagig with us?
I did thingamagig, but that wasn't Irish. That was...
No, it's Scottish,
That was-
wasn't
that
it?
was-
Yes, sorry,
that
yes.
was,
So, Oops, wrong Celts. Yes.
Yeah.
That's up somewhere. I haven't found it, but it is actually up on YouTube somewhere.
Claire said that one day it'd be great to get Johnny Kelsey up and for him and Cormac to have a bit of a playoff.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That would be great. That would be great.
In fact, we could leave them to it for hours. Yeah.
Hours and hours.
Just
Absolutely.
jamming away.
Just jamming away.
Uh-huh.
We could call it the Devon Celt Irish sound system.
Yep, indeed, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great call. He's a good guy, Johnny. He's one of
He is
nature's.
a good man. Yeah.
Okay, folks. Yeah, Lost is the U2 song. I've got that echo, like the edge. Ding, 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 ding. You've got playing 3 echoes against the beat. Da, 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 da. The Edge. Well done, The Edge. The Gay Burns Show. Oh, I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
All right, this is Wind Up. I can see that you are obviously winding up your questions as well. So I'm going to look straight at the lens and say the show will be there till tomorrow night. And what we will really, really love you to do is to tell all your friends how great it was, so that if we put it out in 2 weeks, we can do the same thing again.
Another bunch of people, which would be great, yeah.
Exmouth is happening.
Yes.
Yeah, we're doing
Thank
2
God for that.
shows in Exmouth. And,
However, my solo show that was on the 3rd...
it's gone. Hi, Steve.
Yeah, has gone, I'm afraid. So, sadly...
Steve, I know you tried to phone me earlier, but you would have just phoned right into the stream because I forgot to put Do Not Disturb on my iPhone, and it would have been you. Yeah, so say good night. It's a good night. It's a good,
Good night, good people, and thank you so much for tuning into the show. It's our most ambitious venture yet, and I have to say we're personally very happy.
We're delighted with the response. And I've just got a text from my daughter now. What time is her taxi? That means me.
I mean, you've got to go and get her.
No, I'm not. I'm going to Uber her. I'm not after half a bottle of wine. I'm not going out tonight.
I think not.
All right.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much.
Well, I say good night. I say good night. I'm about to press the button that says goodbye.
If only you could find it.
Yeah, it'll be that little X up there, won't it, really?
I think it will, yes.
Hello to you.
Yeah.
There we go.
Here it goes.
Pressing the button.
Yeah.